Welcome, Capricorn. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do a new moon in Leo / total solar eclipse reading of the 12th of August. So hopefully some of that will unpack as we start with the Crystal Spirit Oracle for you, Aqua Aura Quartz. And this is number 6, which is the number of the lovers. And that may have some bearing on a choice that you're making right now. Perhaps you are at some kind of a crossroads. And the guidebook reads, "The appearance of this crystal is a message to you to cease your cynicism and worry and open your heart to the wonder that is your life. How unlikely we all are, and yet we are here. Drink in the magic of life in your body on this planet and let yourself be filled with wonderment. Open yourself to healing in its very many forms as the universal consciousness eternally creates new beginnings and generates abundance. Today is the day to appreciate the magic that is everywhere." And the essential meaning is connecting to infinite potential, a renewed sense of purpose, wonder, and awe. So this is really deeply inspirational. I do believe that for many of you, this is about really understanding your healing process, your healing journey in a new way. I think you're seeing that your efforts at forgiveness, forgiving others who you believe have wronged you in some way, others that you have blamed, that forgiveness needs to be surrendered to with love, with compassion, with patience. And this is part of the revelation that you're experiencing as you are understanding your deeper connections to others, the ways in which you worked with others around resources that you share. So this is quite obviously in places of employment, in relationships, that you have often felt that you were unfairly blocked or unjustly treated or discredited in some way that was unfair. I'm not removing any injustice that you experienced as invalid. It is all valid. However, the sense of cynicism and disempowerment that your efforts of forgiveness have netted you is precisely because you've been unwilling to let go of your anger, your bitterness, your resentment, as though that is your justice. And this is obviously some deep healing around this is happening for you. I believe that most of you that I'm speaking to have been working precisely on this very obstacle block for a very long time, very aware that you carry stories of anger, betrayal, resentment within you and are exhausted by the burden of that. And yet your efforts have felt circuitous, spinning, unfulfilling for all of the hard work of really facing up to these uncomfortable behaviors and responsibilities on your part. So here you are recognizing that it really is about love. The only way to dissolve that bitterness, that cynicism, and release yourself from the worry that it keeps happening again and again, and has this been your whole life, is this ability to give with love, to release with love, to recognize that everyone has their own struggles and challenges. It doesn't take that justice away from you. It relieves you of carrying the burden of that. And from the soul's journey, you have judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. I love the way the cards follow the thread of my intuition. So here, this is about the way you've always been judged, particularly in the past. This is a kind of conditioning you've received that has been difficult for you to unburden yourself from. You've been judged, you've been criticized, you may have lived in a critical household as a child where nothing was good enough, or the standard of achievement or behavior was so exalted that you were constantly, as a response, looking at the imperfections of others. And in your own seeking, quest for relief from this burden, learning to stop judging yourself, to forgive yourself, to recognizing that judgment is almost like an unhealthy reflex, one that you feel protects you, and it's done exactly the opposite in many ways. So this is quite profound. I think for many of you, you are uh, actively working in environments with collaborators, co-creators, in a community setting, part of a team where you have opportunities to release this judgment, to see it in others and how it limits them, to check your own reflexes around any energy, any information, anything that you are consuming, the way that you critically receive that. Now, I'm not talking about critical thinking. That's an essential tool that we all need to be able to uh, uh, scrutinize the opinions or the information of others from a critical lens, so that we're not just assuming what others say wholesale is correct. That is unique and that is different. This is really about recognizing your purpose in being able to forgive yourself and others. That you, I know this almost sounds corny, but it's almost like a new way of appreciating the turn the other cheek Christian uh, saying. And I don't know exactly what that is, but you know what I mean. Kind of like the ethic of Martin Luther King. Uh, you don't return cruelty with cruelty. In your present, the Eight of Swords. Interesting. So this is telling me that you have put in a lot of work, a lot of thought into something that you're doing or creating right now. You're formulating something. I feel like this is a presentation. Perhaps you're writing something. Um, there is some body of information or knowledge that you are presenting, you're working through. And in that effort, you are feeling a constant need to learn more, to research more, to experience more. Now, it isn't as though naturally one's competence in a certain area of knowledge doesn't inspire them to keep learning. This is different. What I'm sensing from this is that the need to keep learning is masking what you already know. You already know whatever you need to move forward. Whatever you need to know, you will pick up along the way because you are a student. You are interested in learning more. You're interested in expanding. But the truths that you are holding on to and not presenting, not sharing your ideas is not effective, is not doing its work. These truths need to be shared. You can't hide behind these truths. These truths come from you. They come from your perception, your experience, your authentic expression. So this is telling me that you're more than qualified to move forward, perhaps with a proposal, perhaps with some kind of plan. It feels like this is a complete enough plan to uh, be successful in some particular area. You're very close to some kind of a success, but perhaps you are lacking this confidence, this clarity, this wonderment and awe at how much you have accumulated to date, how much you have studied, how much you've learned, how much you've expanded. And the focus, putting the focus on that rather than the worry and the anxiety around your inadequacy is an important step for you to release yourself from worry and judgment, self-judgment, to forgive yourself and really open up to the abundance that you're experiencing as a result of these truths you hold. In the past, the Ace of Cups, lovely, lovely. So this is speaking directly about this opening up of your heart, this release of judgment, this release of resentment, anger, bitterness about the blocks and betrayals you've experienced. It's interesting because it really is a question of you looking on the other side, of releasing this sense that there is just more and more to do and to create and to accomplish and to know, and there's never enough. And when do you know enough? This standard of perfection is dimming your light, is keeping you from being seen, is preventing you from stepping out. You're not listening to yourself. And the Ace of Cups is saying, you know what? Your heart is bigger than all that you know. The heart is what steers what you know into the world in a gentle, just, imaginative, creative way, a way that brings joy, brings amazement to your truths. And that's the spirit in which you have been working to heal this critical lens through which you have viewed not only the experiences and expression of others, but of yourself. And in the future, the Ace of Wands. Two aces, quite auspicious. The Ace of Wands shows you're moving out. You're moving on. You are doing the damn thing. You're taking the step you need to take. You are inspired. You are motivated. You understand that you have the connection you need, that connection to divine source. You have it. You've always had it. And that you're here to express that, to put that out there in the world. That is your calling. That is your purpose. So this is beautiful because it does speak about bringing your whole creative approach, your very imaginative, unique, and highly ethically and even spiritually informed. You're all about doing what's right for everyone. And this is quite a powerful calling for you, so that the work that you do with others, the way you are stewarding resources on behalf of a community you belong to, a team you're on, is really your purpose, what your leadership is intended for. And you can do that gently. You don't have to do that by cajoling or coercing others. You do that by illuminating the strengths of others, by asking others to lean into what they do well. And this is what is part of your own creative process. It's almost like you're now enjoying the journey. You're refraining from judging your every effort and step along the way. You realize no matter where you land, the journey is the thing. And if you're not enjoying it, then you're not living. Capricorn, if this is resonating for you, please like this video, subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. As a fellow Capricorn, I'm with you, and I'm feeling all of this. So I welcome your comments, your thoughts, and always your appreciations are joyfully received. And the Ace of Cups is clarified by the Page of Earth and the Six of Water, like that, and the Eight of Swords. 2 cards, please. So by the Five of Air and the King of Fire, the Ace of Wands, the Strength card, and the Five of Water. Okay. Yeah, there's something there's this worry that is plaguing you. I see that. This heartache that you have been struggling with. In the past, the Ace of Cups, and clarified by the Page of Earth and the Six of Water. So you are taking steps to activating your particular gift, your particular talent, your language. This is a heart opening for you. You're recalling some time in your past when you effortlessly practiced this gift, shared this gift with others, made others laugh, had fun with others, gave pleasure and joy, not just to others, but to yourself. There was no agenda in this talent you had, in this ability to create something beautiful with ease, but something you were willing to work at because it felt so good to experience it. So I see you returning to who you are, what you do well, and putting your faith, your heart into that for whatever it gives you. It feels like you're returning back to a place that is pre-agenda, pre-plan, and so that you can really learn what needs to be learned, support what you can with the resources you have moving forward. And I love this Page of Earth here. It looks like he's going to make popcorn with his long-handled popcorn maker here. The wings. This is about fun, lightness, clarity, play. And I think that's something you're bringing back to your heart. Play, wonder, amazement. In the present, the Eight of Swords is clarified by the Five of Air and the King of Fire. You're a leader. You're a leader. And it's interesting that you have become very strategic about avoiding the drama of others. So I see you working with others, and I see you sometimes held back by the amount of information or knowledge, experience even, that you have, held back by your truths, whether they should be deployed in this situation, this conversation, or not, consumes you. Because your overall goal is for everyone to experience the wonder and amazement of the resources you have, the abundance, the spiritual upliftment in resources that you are managing or stewarding. There is a way in which you have moved away in order to choose your battles. So I feel that you willfully close your eyes to things that you feel are not worthy of the effort to invest in. That's another way of describing dramas, right? There's a lot of drama that is unproductive. And rather than squelch it, you recognize that you can simply steer others' attention into a more productive arena. And I do believe that's a role that you play. You're very careful about selecting what others need to know. You are a font of information, but it is inspired. It has a point. It has a reason. It is intended to uplift us, to empower us, to likewise be creative, and moves away from criticism, particularly putting others down, um, judging the output or the productivity of others in some way that's negative. I do feel like there is someone who inspires your heart, someone who, uh, and this can be an ancestor, someone who has passed on. It's coming through like a positive authority figure in your life, someone who was highly creative, showed you by example how to be creative, perhaps was your inspiration or your teacher about a particular gift that you have. There is a real light, a real joy in even managing the most disruptive, diverse group of energies and resources and personalities that you bring, that puts the focus on love, puts the focus on joy. And in the future, the Ace of Wands is taking this a little bit further. I think how you become inspired by your ability to work with others, a contentious group of others, as most diverse groups can be. The stakes here are very high, it's very personal. But you are moving out of this place of sadness, the burden of poor choices you've made, this recognition that your moving on has been more facilitated by blaming others than it has been always by taking responsibility for your role. So you're not one who, excuse me, you're not one who shirks from your responsibility, but you actually had believed in the past that you were unjustly or unfairly treated, which may have been the case. There's no doubt. This is not about invalidating your legitimate experience, but now gaining the courage of and the bravery from all the inner strength you've accumulated. And rather than worrying, channeling that energy into concern, anxiety, overwhelm, you are internalizing those lessons, that courage, that bravery to be joyful, to be happy. This feels like you're choosing to be happy for all of the failed heartbreaks, disappointments. You really look to the relationship with yourself, the opportunity that you see right before you as the chance to live the life that you always projected into the future. This is a recognition that you're living your best life now, even in the harshest conditions imaginable. And this is part of the uh, opportunity for living your faith in yourself, in your commitment to divine love, to spiritual unity, to greater connection, to universal well-being of not only others, but of the planet itself. This is amid hardship, amid lack, amid scarcity. If you can't find joy then, no matter what you have, it's not going to change that. This is a mindset, and you're taking the courageous stance of saying, I have everything that I need here, every resource to create whatever I want right here in this moment. And that is a complete shift and a release of tremendous burden, this sense of sadness, of heartbrokenness in love. In fact, in all relationships, not just in romantic love. I'm going to finish this reading with a flower oracle, and I pulled the pitcher plant, and the keyword is insight. The answers are there for those who look. I love this. I love this sense of joy, awe, amazement, beauty, pleasure that you are choosing in your life, Capricorn. So it is. Until next time, namaste.